We need to.
Vale, perdona. Si es que no podem fer un vot de vida en la taula. És que els nens de la fins quan són trencats, la tracta com se fa, enquadrament col·lectiva, gent del món de l'esport, per quan entri, per tenir una bona mica. Digue que els nens moment al Diego, o aviseu un però per favor, una de la porta, és que ens m'agrada, vale? Sí, el d'aquest perfecte, però dintre no el pot fer. Vale, gràcies.
they just leave the student to enter the university, and they pay for him like a lot of money, and he knows that everything would be great in his life, so he just don't want, like he just don't want to spend his time in the auditorium instead or wherever, because he already knows that everything will be great on site. So this one is done before, so like maybe he was enrolled in the other courses from the previous years, he's taking the same courses, or he's just, he was studying in the one university and then he quit, and then he just got to the another university or college. So it's not pretty interesting for him, so it's not his level of the knowledge that he already has, so that's why he just purchased the paper, and it's kind of a bit easier for him. So this lady is my favorite. So Claudia Mani, she's very nice person, very nice chick, I would say. She doesn't want to learn anything. She's just, you know, going to shopping, do something. She has a lot of money because of her husband or her parents, wherever. She doesn't care at all. So what UniCheck did? What UniCheck did is we developed the authorship verification technology, which is actually based on artificial intelligence technology. So we're going to warn teachers when students submit papers. We're going to warn them whether it's most probably submitted by the author of the paper or not. So teachers, like educators, are those who need to work with the student to make them successful. If it's not that interesting course, then maybe teachers should supposed to do something with the course, with the material, or maybe like his responsibility is to engage like people maybe in off courses activities, etc. So like it all depends on the educators, right? If the educator is not that interesting for the students, or if he doesn't care about some specific student, like about the can't do it, right? They will never succeed. They will never get the knowledge. And in the results, we have a very big problem, like it's a huge problem. A lot of people, they just pass exams, they just pass assignments, and they don't actually know what they did, what they studied actually. But they have a very good potential, and at UniCheck, we want teachers to help spot those students with the problems and actually help them to succeed in life. So if you would like to have like possibility to test Emma, we run the beta testing on January. It's going to be like maybe in the end of the January. What is required for Emma? Of course, it's artificial intelligence, and it should learn first. So we will ask your students to submit at least a couple of paperworks, the original one, maybe for some not specific, not very scientific topic, maybe some paper about themselves. So then Emma will learn on those papers. She will learn on the like punctuation, formatting, style, commonly used phrases, etc. And every other work will be compared to the previous works, and she will decide whether most probably that's the same student, the same author, or probably not. Sometimes she also have a result which is she's still learning, so it means that she doesn't have enough information to evaluate. We will not tell that that's for sure plagiarism, that's for sure, but it will really help teachers to to pay their attention more on the very most probably problematic works. So they will not evaluate paper, they will just go ahead and start working with the student. That's what we do. If you want to have a beta, just come by to our booth and just leave your email, and we will contact you with some more information, NDA contracts, etc., etc. Not very interesting stuff, but it will be fine. Well, thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer. I mean, there's so big auditorium, and no questions? Okay, well, in this case, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. If you'll have any questions, I'm there.
Zonder dat het nog geen meer hebt in de koning.
Ik had beloofd aan de jongens te kiezen zijn, dus...
Promises made. Wat vond jij Virtual van die global meeting net? Heel gaaf. Die laatste, Moodle Plus. Top.
Ik vond het punt uitdelen voor het voltooien van leeractiviteiten.
Dat
vond ik een heel origineel idee ook.
Want jij ook wel ooit voor punt?
Go Future, weet je.
Oh, right, yeah.
En daar heb je kudo's die uitgedeeld worden. Die
Ja.
ingerust kunnen worden voor extra koffie halen. Meelunch in de lerarenkamer.
Oh, dat is waar ze daar ook dingen mee kunnen doen. Is het weet niet.
Duur.
Ja. Maar dan dat.
Minder dan de...
Ja.
Ah, wel in 3000.
Core
render.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Ja, en zie ik... Oh, wat is dit? Dat is gewoon één grote switch statement.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. toen nog in de taart maken. Geen idee? Was gisteren aan het brengen.
All right, perfect. Hi everyone, welcome to our presentation on providing tools to create time for qualitative personal feedback in ICT education. My name is Devin and I'm one of the founders of CodeGrade, and together with some other students at the University of Amsterdam, we started CodeGrade about 3 years ago as a response to our frustrations in computer science education. So as students, we only got little feedback, and sometimes the feedback even took weeks for us to get it. And then a year later, we became teaching assistants at the University of Amsterdam, and then we found out that there were actually no tools to give good feedback, and we had way too little time to grade and review way too many practical programming assignments. So those were some challenges that we experienced, and now we've been working together for the last years with also some more institutions worldwide, and we see that there are some challenges in ICT education. So first of all, formative assignments are very effective. Programming is really a skill that you learn by doing, so it's good to have weekly or bi-weekly assignments for that. But it's really time consuming to grade, and especially since the courses are really booming and a lot of students want to learn programming, it's even harder to grade 500 students or 1,000 students with weekly assignments. The feedback also has to be timely. You improve quickly, you learn a lot, but if you get your feedback a couple of weeks after the deadline passes, then you won't have anything from the feedback. And then last of all, logical, the feedback has to be insightful and qualitative, and that's what we'll talk about today as well. So also for creating a tool to aid this, there are some challenges. First of all, the tool has to be very flexible, of course. As some of you may know, and it's specifically true for computer science, is that all teachers have their own workflow. A lot of teachers use different programming languages, different tools, different tests that they already have. And the tool should work with all of that, and they shouldn't put much time into getting used to the tool. Next to that, it should be scalable and secure. More students want to learn programming, so it should be working for higher numbers of students as well. And then, of course, it should aid the teacher and enable the teacher to give better quality feedback without spending more time on it. So the teacher workflow right now is not that optimal in Moodle. As you can see, first of all, the teacher has to go to Moodle and he has to individually, manually download the code from there that the student has handed in, so he can review it in his own system. So first he downloads the code from Moodle, then he opens the code in his own editor locally on his computer and he reviews it by going through it, and he has to somehow remember what it is like. Then he has to manually test the code right here. He's testing it in a terminal, and he has to do this for every student over and over again to see if it works. And then he has to go back to Moodle, remembering everything that he just saw, filling in a grade, and giving some feedback to the student. And it's only general feedback over a whole programming assignment or project, which could be multiple files, which could be files of code with hundreds of lines of code, and then you just get one single line of feedback. So this is not optimized, it doesn't aid learning, and it's definitely not ready for an increasing amount of students that we see. So some objectives to fix this is to increase the efficiency in the teacher workflow. As we just saw, there's a lot of overhead that we can eliminate, and there's a lot of activities that the teacher has to manually do now that we can automate. Next to that, we have to increase the quality of feedback. We have to make the feedback more specific to programming and computer science education. So by giving feedback in the lines of the code, not just one general feedback field. We have to work with rubrics, and we have to create feedback that is pedagogically correct. So that's what we do with CodeGrade. Works? Yeah, it does. All right. So this is what the teacher sees now. This could be inside Moodle or any other LMS. The student has handed in his code file, and the teacher can right away see the code within his browser. You can click on any line like you see here, and he can give feedback on the code on this line or this portion of the code. And he can save this. What you can often see also is that the teachers will give multiple students, or within one file even, give the same feedback over and over again. Especially in programming, there's a lot of common mistakes. For instance, here, it's not really preferred to use global variables, so that's something that happens a lot, and he can use a snippet. So that's something he sets up before grading, or he can even set them up while grading as he goes, and reuse the snippet. He also has one for documentation. This one is a positive one. That's also interesting. And he can just go through the code to see where he wants to give feedback. This way, he doesn't have to remember everything. He doesn't have to do it on his local system. And the student will be able to see all the feedback directly in the code where he needs to. He can even see an additional report that the student has to hand in. And now he can fill in the rubric. As you can see, and I'll go over that in a minute, some rubric fields are already filled in automatically. That is part of the automation and part of our talk yesterday, but I'll quickly recap that. And he can fill in the last manual rubric part and save it. Some parts are also automatic here with automatic style feedback and automatic tests. All right. So now as a student, you should be able to, of course, see this feedback. And that is all done inside Moodle. So a student gets his grade in Moodle just as he would get any other grade. This time it's a code grade assignment. You can click on the assignment and the code grade window will pop up. And right away he will see the rubric and the feedback that the teacher has given him within the lines of code with a small portion of code around it. Of course, he can always just see the whole code and see it in a bigger context, but this way he can quickly overview what the teacher has given him as feedback. All right. So yesterday we've talked about automatic testing, and I'll quickly recap that now. We've now seen part of the manual testing, something that the teacher does, but we also want the students to get timely feedback. We talked about it before. Some of our problems as students were that we didn't get feedback, that we didn't get enough feedback, enough quality feedback. That's something we solved. But also that we sometimes had to wait weeks, even a month, until we got the feedback. So that's something we still have to solve. And that's something we do with automatic testing. And we call this continuous feedback. So every time a student hands in something, that can be done with GitHub, GitLab, or just like this regularly via Moodle. So we're looking at the rubric again. And the rubric is very important to us. So in the rubric, you can set up which categories you want to automatically test and which categories you want to manually test. He's handing in now, and right away, he will go to the automatic testing screen right here. It will start running in our cloud infrastructure, and he will get feedback on his code immediately. So you can see which parts are going well, which parts went wrong, where he got errors. He can review these errors, and he can go back to his code to improve this and hand in again. Like this, the feedback loop gets very, very short. It's motivating the student to work better, to improve his code, and he can see really quickly and easily where he got an error, so he can improve this, hand in again, and see if he improved the error. So this was a lot of talking about our tool. Let me tell you what we do in practice as well. We've been working together with the Erasmus University Rotterdam for the past year, and we've really innovated their programming education. So beforehand, they only had a final exam. Now it's possible for them to do formative assignments. So for them, that's 2 assignments per week now. So they went from 1 exam for the whole course to every week 2 assignments. And all these assignments now have feedback too. That's done with the immediate continuous feedback from our autotest system. Next to that, what's really cool is what they've done. They've had sessions with their teachers and the learning consultant and us. So they set up these snippets, so those autocomplete inline feedback snippets beforehand to make them pedagogically correct and to make them better. And this way the students got better feedback, higher quality feedback. It made grading more efficient for the teachers, but also because they have to grade 500 students per week, they use multiple graders for that. And this way the grading is also very consistent between the graders. So that's also very important. So to quickly recap what we've gone over today and yesterday, CodeGrade offers powerful, flexible, automatic grading in one environment that will extend your learning management system like Moodle or also Canvas, Brightspace, or Blackboard to be better suitable for code and programming education. You can give inline feedback to code, and everything is integrated with rubrics that work with the auto test as well. We also offer plagiarism, especially designed for code. And in the spring 2020, we'll have powerful analytics and then peer feedback coming in summer 2020. Thank you so much. And if you want any more information, please come by our booth, or if you have any questions, let me know. Yes.
Would students be able to submit to their assignments via Git?
Yes. So we have GitHub and GitLab integration. So what they can do is they can install a webhook, and every time they push to Git, they will automatically be uploaded to our system, and they will get the same feedback automatically with rubrics. So that will also eliminate more overhead for students. Yes.
A question yet is did it support multiple coding languages or just Python right now?
So our tool is one of the challenges was to make it agnostic for programming languages. So it works with any programming language right now. Of course, the plagiarism checker is programming language dependent, and there we have a list of 20 programming languages, and we will add more as we work together with more institutions. Yeah, but the automatic testing and the website are program language independent. Any other questions? No? All right, thank you so much, guys.
Push naar Git, naar Moodle, wordt gesubmit. De andere programmeur gaat peer reviewen.
That thing I love. I am loud enough without a microphone. Yet I must use one. For all the online people, hi online people. I'm taking one for the team for you. Okay, welcome everyone to IntelliCart. My name is Tanya Riney. I am the EVP for IntelliBoard, and it is my great pleasure to have you here with us today. Thank you for coming. To my immediate right is Mariana Robson. She is the delightful human being who is in our Paris office and takes care of all of Europe, which is a very large responsibility to take care of all of Europe. So she takes care of all of Europe. She also is ridiculous in that she speaks English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese fluently. So I think she has most of you covered.
And some German.
And some German. Aber ich kann ein bisschen Deutsch. Yeah, so I can do a little German. And then to my far right is Mr. Don Hazelwood. He will be driving the bus today, and Mariana will be interrupting me periodically throughout the presentation, making sure that I'm doing a good job. Okay? All right, so please feel free to ask any one of us any questions that you have about IntelliCart, and I also want you to feel very comfortable as we're going through the presentation to stop me or us at any time to answer any questions about IntelliCart. So without further ado, housekeeping now aside, IntelliCart is your all-in Moodle e-commerce solution. You need nothing else. It works directly inside of Moodle. So if you need an e-commerce or a multi-tenancy platform for you or any one of your clients, that will be IntelliCart. Okay, so the way IntelliCart works, this is our demo Moodle site. This is our publicly available Moodle site, and you can go here at any time, demo.intelliboard.net. We have logged in as an admin. What you are seeing as Don scrolls through the screen are products created in IntelliCart that could be anything. They can be one course. They can be multiple courses. They can be fulfillment, meaning a product, something that you need to send or your clients need to send to someone. So it serves multifaceted purposes. It will collect tax. It will tax specific things and not other things. It will create coupons. It creates discounts. It does absolutely anything and everything you need. So let's kind of jump in and see what we're looking at right now. We scroll up to that, there is something in the shopping cart right now. So let's take a look at our shopping cart on the right. And we can see that we do have something inside of the cart. But let's go ahead, and I'm not sure if we're logged in as an admin, if it will let us add a product, but let's just add one of the available products that we have. I don't really care which one you do. Okay. So now we have 2 products, yes? Yes, we have 2 products. It's literally that easy, right? So now we can kind of step into, we can look at my purchases. So let's take a look at my purchases, which is the tab on the left. Wonderful. Right, so these are the purchases that I have made. Now we are again in as an admin, behaving as if we were a learner or somebody who is about to purchase courses. But we're going to spend a little bit of time inside of the reporting and the administrative pieces of IntelliCart. And we need to go to, I think the product's catalog or the dashboard. Don, I can't remember which. Oh no, I lied to you. Go to the left, go to IntelliCart. Listen to me lie. I'm a terrible woman. Terrible woman. Go to IntelliCart. I forget that it's there. Okay, so this is the IntelliCart area for the super admin. You can see here, you can see here all the tabs along the top is going to help you with your management of IntelliCart, right? So, hey Don, can you scroll back up to the top? All right, so we've got dashboard, right? We have the categories. Let's jump to the categories. We're just going to go across the screen. Okay, so these are the categories that you're going to create, and they really honestly have nothing to do with course categories, right? So I'm sure you're familiar with course categories in Moodle. These are new categories because your categories inside of IntelliCart may not necessarily correspond with the categories of products that you are pushing out the door, right? Especially when you're combining a group of courses, right, into a product, and that product may actually appear in several categories. So we want to give you as much flexibility as you possibly have there. All right, let's jump to the next tab. All right, these are products. Products are, again, one course, multiple courses, or other things, right? Whatever it is y'all want to sell, it's there, right? You can do whatever it is that you want. All right, coupons. Are coupons a thing in Europe? Yes? Yes, they are. I mean, because they're obsessively ridiculous in America about coupons. There are people who make a living off of coupons in the
We have
United
a
States.
social system in Europe.
Yes, you have healthcare here too, so rock on with your bad selves. Okay, so coupons are there, and you can create coupons and discount options for your clients so that you have no problems in selling the way that you need to sell, either for your business, culturally, whatever it is. And if it doesn't fit your model, then you don't use them. But coupons and discounts work differently, but then you can also go in and edit and change and do anything that you want for that piece of it. Where are we on next? Payment types. Payment types, I think we have five existing, 6 existing, right? Anyone have one? 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I can't count. So we have 7 existing. Anything up there that you see that we don't have covered? Anything? Yes?
Purchase order.
Yes, that's there, but that's not a payment type. I know that seems weird,
Okay.
but it's not a payment type.
Okay.
That's a literal payment platform, but yes.
Want to see what's going on?
I just have to give you a rub.
Okay.
So Marty is an administrator at North Carolina State University.
I
And
just got a promotion.
Yeah, well, you know, works on Moodle. You're more important. You're more important than just working on Moodle. And my kid happens to go there, and my kid happens to work in his department. It's all really weird. And here we are in Barcelona. I'm just having a mind-blowing moment. Okay, moving on. Moving on, moving on. Okay, so yes, purchase orders there, but any other payment gateways that you need, that you do not see on the screen? Anyone? No? I got all the payment gateways covered? Yes? Yes? Going once? Going twice? Okay, sold for all the payment gateways. If for some reason another payment gateway happens to come up in your world and you need us to add a payment gateway, we do that for free. It takes us about 2 weeks. Yes, sir? No, but we will. There we go. See, I said it was over. It was over, Jacques. I said going once, going twice. And then after it was over, then you gave me the 2 new platforms. All right, so yes, of course, we'll add whatever you need. We just need about 2 weeks, and we'll stick them right up. It's totally free. Okay, we just need to know the integration pathways as we work through those companies. Not a problem. Okay, so these are the payment gateways. What's my next one? Wait list, or payment, yeah, payment types, wait list. Okay, so if you want a wait list, the people who are buying your courses, so if they do have limits, right, if there are limits to the number of enrollments that you have, you can create a wait list. If a seat becomes available, then the wait list will automatically inform the person who has put themselves on the wait list. So you don't need to do it. The system will inform those people. Where are we next? Sales. That might be important for an e-commerce platform. So let's take it. Did it bump us out? Did you go to sales? Okay, and it might not because this is the demo site. It might not let us do it. Yeah, okay. So it's the demo site, so it won't let us go to sales. And this is because it's our publicly available demo site, and some portions of it we did have to close. But the sales piece of it is going to give you all of the reporting, and it integrates with the IntelliBoard platform, so you can see what courses are generating the major amounts of your revenue, as well as the courses that are not generating large amounts of revenue for you, and any other kinds of reports that you could ever possibly need. Let's go to vendors, and then reports. So a vendor is, in IntelliBoard speak, this is how we talk about multi-tenancy, right? So if you happen to have a training company, and that, or even a university, right? And that university is selling courses to other corporations. So that corporation has 10 people in it, and that they are taking courses at the university, right? Well, obviously that corporation, or rather that university, doesn't want that corporation to be able to see the other people. They should not see. They should only see the students who they are sending. And in this way, they are able to create a partition, and they can see only those courses for their students. Now, what happens if that same training company or the university wants to charge different prices? Same thing, right? So if course A is $100 or €100 for this organization, it can be €200 for this organization, and no one will ever be the wiser. And maybe there are reasons for that. So that is multi-tenancy for that. And then let's just go to reports. I think we've got some reports in there. All right, yay! So you got a ton of different reports in here about all the different kinds of things that are happening, in addition to the IntelliBoard reports that you can also access about the behavior of those specific courses. So in terms of sales, in terms of products, in terms of returning customers, average order value over time, you can see a ton of them here, right? Vendor performance, you're going to get all sorts of data about how your e-commerce site is actually performing. All right? Now, questions? Questions? Really? I did that good of a job? I feel like I did this yesterday, too. And then finally, someone asked a question to confirm that I didn't do that good of a job. See? That's good. Yes, see, there we go.
I have one question which I probably don't get a response, but I will ask you.
Please do.
Does this work with workplace?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that wasn't expected.
Aha.
Okay.
Yeah, we've actually tested it. Okay. Anyone else?
Have you already some experience with the VAT system in Europe for e-commerce?
Is that one person? He's using VAT, right? Yeah. Okay. Yes. So the answer is yes. Yes.
Because I never understood how it works, but if the
Oh, I
e-commerce provider understands, that's enough.
I definitely don't understand VAT. Not.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no clue how you people manage that.
No, it's easy in my country,
Oh,
but
no.
if you sell all over Europe, you have different.
Yeah.
We actually have a client in Switzerland selling for Austria and Germany.
Okay.
So then you can select different VAT for different countries.
Okay, yeah, that's.
Yes.
Other questions? How am I doing on time? I didn't bring this. Thank you. 6 minutes. I have extra time. Woo-hoo. Okay. So other questions?
Is that one important thing is that we have payment gateways, but many people are doing payment through bank transfers here in Europe, and we also have these options. So it's called the invoice payment, manual payment. We only need someone inside your company to confirm the transfer was received and then approve the enrollment of the student at the course or conference seat or tutoring or whatever was the product that the student got. And then the person goes there and approves, and the student is automatically enrolled. And something important too is the guest user that was not mentioned. You can get guest user, so the student doesn't need to be enrolled into Moodle to see the products that you have to sell. Whenever they buy the product, then they create their Moodle account. So something very good that we have about our product there.
Similar, Marty, in the way that the first would work, right? Very similar. So that. Okay. Yes, Guido.
Can I buy, if I go to the shop and I want to buy 20 courses for 20 of my employees,
Absolutely. And then
Yes.
assign licenses?
and I can upload the names and
Absolutely.
email accounts whenever
Yes.
I know who is going to come
You
to
got
the
it.
course.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Anyone else? Y'all are kind of easy, man. No one wants to play Stump the Presenter?
Cool.
You want to play Stump the Presenter, Marty?
Sure.
Awesome.
I'm gonna,
Let's
here we
do
go.
this.
So I assume that you could also, in a similar vein, if I have 20 people, there's a discount for, 10 plus
Yes,
registrations.
that exists.
So would you use a code or a discount or something?
Typically, yes. Yeah. And then those discounts, speaking to that, right? So the discounts have an incredible number of settings available to them. So speaking like in terms of a coupon, right? I can use this coupon, see if I can say this right. I can use my coupon, I have 100 uses for the coupon, right? And I can give it to 10 people to use 10 times. I can give it to 100 people to use 1 time, and any other variety of math in between, right? So you have ultimate control and flexibility in terms of how those particular things need to be deployed, right? Because everybody is different all over the world, and there just has to be a lot of flexibility with that. And so it exists. Anyone else? See, I didn't even need my extra time. Ha-ha, right? I got a little shorted
So
yesterday.
it's all free and open source.
Oh yeah, totally. You don't pay for anything. No, and Teleport, everything is free. No, it is not free, but do come and talk to us about pricing. Our pricing is flat and standard, and we are pretty transparent about it, especially when you are a partner. Okay? All right, thank you all so much. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you, thank you.
Takže já přidám no právě, že nemají. Jediný, co taky třeba někam přesunout. Vládě už tady když teď mám koš, takže mám taky přesunu do toho koše, a pak je tam přidáme jako tím způsobem.
Yeah, I'm trying to run into an alternative.
Hello everyone, my name is Gaspar. I'm here with Wirus, sponsors of this MoodleMoot and many others before it and many to come. This is a specific presentation about our product Wirus Quizzes, which if you caught my presentation yesterday, we looked over very briefly. We'll do a summary of what it can do and look at a detailed example of what it might look like to use that in the classroom. So just for those of you who don't know, we provide solutions for being able to do STEM, math, science content in Moodle, well, helping the problem of being able to do STEM in Moodle. And this is our most powerful tool for doing that. So the thing that I'd like to get at here is that math can be a very creative, sorry, let me phrase that again. Math is the most creative subject that exists, as demonstrated by this example here. So I don't know how well you can see this, but the question says, find the general solution of blah, blah, blah. The student does the standard method, of course, as you all know, of solving differential equations, which is to substitute the unknown function for an exponential. But in this case, they have chosen to represent the function as a dog. Why not? And then dog prime obviously is going to be the derivative of the exponential. And then squirrel is the constant that they the constants are acorn and house. And so they arrive at the final solution, which is that dog equals acorn times e to the negative 3 tree plus house times e to the negative tree. So, well, there's nothing wrong with this solution. I mean, you can use X and Y, you can use dogs and houses. I actually, I had a professor myself that taught differential equations with clouds. He would use clouds, happy clouds and sad clouds for difficult equations. So the point is that students can be very creative, and we need to be able to account for that. If we want to be able to do assessment in Moodle, then we want to be able to allow students to just express the mathematical answer in the way that they happen to arrive at it. Naturally, we don't actually support dogs as variables, or acorns for that matter, but it does remind me that there is an Easter egg that I wanted to show you. You're very lucky because not many people know about this in our tools. So if you go to the, let me just switch tabs here. Our handwriting recognition actually works. There's a very special feature that not anybody else will know about except for you guys. And that's if you look up the paella emoji. This is just a fun little detail that it's, yeah, I'm okay with using cookies, I guess. It's not my computer. I would like to, huh? It's not yours either? Okay. So, little known fact about math type is that if you put in the paella emoji, you actually get this nice little drawing of a paella. So who knows? I mean, we haven't gotten any requests for being able to use emojis as variables, but I can see that happening. I mean, why not? Back to the more important and serious stuff. So this is a very normal quiz. Let me put that in present mode. This is, your typical quiz in high school. That's not at all contrived for the purposes of this demo because, you would ask them to add two fractions, then factorize a polynomial, then calculate an area, and then add two fractions again because it's important to know how to add fractions, and then calculate an integral. That's, your standard fourth grade quiz. So how would you do that except on paper? If you're working with Moodle, the only options that you have for asking these types of questions, well, you could ask them to add two fractions and have a numerical answer. That's not so nice because then they're not writing a fraction anymore. Forget about asking them to factorize a polynomial. You can ask them to calculate an area, the answer will just be a number, so then you can't really grade them on whether they did the units or not. And then integral, well, obviously that's not possible. The only way for that to be possible is if you grade them manually. Of course, you can always do that. You'll still have a problem with the students being able to write the formula, but it would be possible to do all these things manually. I'm going to show you how Wires quizzes can do all of that and more automatically. So if we go here, oh, where is this? Oh, I'll just go to it again. Here is our quiz. Calculate the sum of 1/2 and 1/4. Simplify the answer. So in Moodle, normally here you would have just the text box or the standard editor for writing a formula, or for writing a piece of text, sorry. And now instead we have our nice little formula editor, math type, where the student can write the answer to this question, which is 3/4, or if they're on a touch screen, this is not a touch screen, so this is gonna come out kind of sloppy. 3/4. Oh, despite my very, very sloppy handwriting with the mouse, it recognizes it as 3/4. So we have that answer there. Factorize okay, this is scary. How do I factorize this? This is probably x minus 1. I'm kidding, I memorized the answers. X plus 1 And then squared. This answer, so what's important about this is that the student writes that, x minus 1 times x plus 1 squared. They might have written x minus 1 times 1 plus x squared. This is what I'm trying to get at with the creativity aspect. Maybe not so much creativity, but there's so many different ways to write the same thing in mathematics, so you need something, if you're going to grade it automatically, that can recognize that those two things are the same thing, as well as all the other infinite ways of writing that. The question here is to calculate an area where there are units given, so the student would write 4,600, and then all they have to do is write meters squared, and that would work. Now, if they had written something else equivalent to that, such as 460 kilometers squared, I'm not sure if I'm calculating that right, but you get the idea. It knows the equivalences between units and all the different possible ways of writing the same thing. Again, now, why did I include a second fraction question? That's because this is going to show us how Wireless quizzes can have random parts inside of a question. So now this says calculate the addition of -5/4 and -2/3. If I were a different student in the same room looking at this quiz, or if I'm the same student opening it again, if I'm training the same type of question, then I would see a different answer. So that's -5/4, -2/3. Now if I start this again, it's two different fractions. So what we've done is, when we're creating the questions, which we'll see what this looks like on the authoring side in just a sec, when we're creating questions, we say these two fractions are to be random with certain in a certain range that we specify, and then all the students get a different version of the question. And if they can also train the same type of question repeatedly to get with different data. And finally, calculate the primitive of this long expression. I forget what this. We don't need to calculate integrals here. If someone wants to work on that while I'm finishing the presentation and tell me the answer, I'm sure you all know how to do that, but then we'll try that later. So on the authoring side, we will see what this looks like. Because so far as you can tell, this just looks like a normal Moodle quiz, so it won't be different from the experience that students usually have, except for that they can write formulas. Now, in the question bank, this also looks exactly the same as you're used to. So what we've done is just add a series of new question types, which look exactly like the regular question types. If you're familiar with short answer, for example, then you'll see that this looks exactly the same for the teacher as with a normal question type. So this is the question text, the feedback, and the only difference is that here now we have a little button where you can set all of the mathematical properties for this answer. So here, if I were to write the answer to be 1/2, write that here, and the student answers 2/4, we can see that that is evaluated as correct. Now the answer to the first question, it asks for it to be simplified. So how we do that, obviously this answer is not simplified. And if we wanted to do that, which in general we probably do with fractions, it's just as simple as ticking that little checkbox and saying, I want it to be simplified. So now, if the internet allows us to get the response, well, if the internet were collaborating, then, okay, there we go. The answer is mathematically correct, but it is not simplified. So what's important here is that you set the criteria, it tells you which criteria were met, and then you can decide what to do as far as the grading goes of this question. So I would say this one is simplified, gets 100% of the grade. And then if I want to give partial credit for getting the right answer but not having it simplified. And now the example is simplified, but obviously it can be, well, we have a number of other properties that you can ask. Expanded, factorized, rationalized, whether it's an integer, whether it's a fraction, and so on. So this one is going to get just, I don't know, 40%. Oh, this is a question. There we go. So now I'm previewing the question. Again, it looks like just a regular Moodle question. There's nothing external or anything like that. If I write 2/4, then the way that I've set up the question should give me a yellow check and 0.4 out of 1 points. So you can imagine all the different things, and you can also construct different feedback for different criteria. If they seem to have a problem with simplifying expressions, then you can decide a custom feedback for that case. Even more so when you start to incorporate random variables, then you can put those in the feedback and create a whole series of interactive feedback loops for the student to work on specific skills for those types of questions. I think that's a lot of information to unpack just for a single demo, and there's always even more with virus quizzes. I think that's where I'll leave it for now. So if we have any questions, we can go to those. Yep.
So how much time does the interface add to a student being able to answer a question?
How much like delay?
Yeah, I mean, to have to use the editor as opposed to writing out freehand.
None at all. I mean, I don't think that there's any noticeable delay for the students. We have servers.
I mean, they have to familiarize themselves with I'm talking about from their usability point of view.
Oh, time to get familiar with the tool. Yep. Well, if they're using the handwriting mode, then none at all, because they're just writing the question. And the editor, we've never gotten any specific. So we do training, for example, for teachers to learn how to use the tool, because that does take a bit of time to learn to get through all the configuration options. But we've never had any type of feedback that's like students are having difficulty using that tool. For teachers, yes, it does take a bit of time to get used to it, and that's why we offer training, but not for students, honestly. Any other questions? No? All right, how are we on time? Okay, yeah, there's no reason to continue. If you do have any other questions, but you're just shy right now, I know it happens, you can come by our stand, and we'll be happy to go over, as well as pricing. I haven't talked anything about pricing, but if you want to know any other specific info, feel free to come by our stand. It's out there. So thank you very much, and see you next MoodleMoot.
she's just going upstairs. Just stay with us 3 minutes.
Yes.
I've never used a microphone before, so let me know if you can't hear me or if I'm doing anything wrong. So my name's Georgina, I'm from Medial. Now I understand I've got a little bit less time than I thought I had, so I might do a slightly abridged version of what I did have, and possibly jump into the demos a little bit faster. I'm probably going to skip through this quite quickly. So, as we all know, we're sort of in a different digital age now with Generation Z, where most youngsters have been brought up with the internet. So this whole idea of engagement with media is sort of slightly different, and everybody wants everything a bit more accessible, a bit faster, and we've got ways of sort of helping you to be able to do that. Essentially, I normally break us down into these 3 pillars. So we've got a library, which is like your content management system, where you can store all of your video content. I can sort of show you quickly what that looks like. So this is me logged into the library here. We can customize this, so you can put your own logo on there, you can change colors, all the usual sort of thing. Now I've got people that use this in different ways. You can either have it as like a corporate YouTube, so like your own area to securely store all of your video. You've got all your categories there, you can do all your playlists. You can have it public facing as well if you want to, without logins. And I've got other clients that use this purely as an admin area, so they just use it to be able to organise all their own content. So if we go into the back end here as well, you can see here, you've got all the ways of organising your content, managing security settings, all that sort of thing there as well. The other section we've got is the live streaming. So within the live area again, this can be sort of as complicated or as easy as you kind of want to make it. So we have a live streaming app on the phone, which is really simple and really easy to use. We do an email that we can send out, or the admin sends out to the end user, sends it directly to their phone, and then it's got a simple link in it where you can then populate all the settings into the app. And that's really good if you just want to do sort of an on-site quick recording. So as an example, University of ours in London, they do archaeological digs with their students. So they'll go out, the students will go out, and then they can stream the dig back to all the students. It archives it as well, so if people want to go back and watch it later, they can do that too. This is sort of your sort of more power user live stream. So if you want to do big presentations, talks, graduations, anything like that, then this is probably more what you'd use. I won't go into loads of detail on this because it is quite a big area, but if anybody wants a full demo of it, we can arrange that at a later date. But essentially, you've got these different channels you can change. You've got a preview mode, so you're not doing it live. And then once you're comfortable that you've got your live stream running, you can switch over to the live stream as well.
And in here, you've got sort of pre-event states and post-event states. You can schedule it, all that sort of thing as well. But like I say, I won't sort of say too much about that because it might not be for everybody's interest. And then obviously we've got the learning side as well. So that's our integration with Moodle. So if we go into Moodle, I'll log in as a teacher. Go to a course. And we'll add an activity or an assignment. You can add an activity here. Most of my clients tend to turn this one off because they're more interested in doing teacher assignments. So I'll select that one. Continue. So basically with Medial, anywhere where there's a text editor, that's where you get the Medial button here. We kind of make it green so it stands out to everybody, but you can customize this to have it however you want it. We'll select that. And then you get these options here where you can upload sort of a new video. You can use your webcam to do an ad hoc webcam recording. I tend to find students like this if they're doing a quick response to an assignment. So they'll just do a quick 2-minute sort of webcam recording and submit that. They've got the ability in there as well to edit it, so if they want to, if they've sort of fumbled a bit at the beginning, they can take that off. You can search for existing media as well. And again, this is where we can help you sort of create that shorter content and break it up a little bit. So you can take a video you've already got and edit it. So we've got sort of a trim and chop feature, so you can top and tail it. You can also chop sections out the middle. So if you made a mistake or somebody walked in the room whilst we were doing screen recording or whatever, you can take that out. There's an export option as well. So you can take sections out of the video. You can adjust the times quite close as well. You can rename these clips. You can add as many in here as you like, and it will export it as a totally new asset to your video. So again, quite often I find if teachers have done maybe a long presentation, they want to chop it up and do chapter points. This is quite good for that. It's also quite good for student presentations. If they're doing back-to-back presentations, then you can record the whole thing, and then you can chop out each student's individual presentation, give it a name, and then you can upload it to the library as well. While I'm in here as well, we do actually have the ability to request closed captions. So if you want closed captions on your video as well, there's a request and approval process. It's really easy to request them. You set up profiles, and then people can choose English, Spanish, French, US English is in there as well. So whatever people want, they can choose from there. And then once they're approved, they'll go onto the video for you as well. And we give you a basic editor. So once the captions are on there, you can go in and you can edit those captions as well. Also in here as well, there's analytics. So you can have a look at the analytics on your video as well. I think I've got a nicer slide. So within the analytics, you can do an overview of the whole library's analytics as an admin. So you can see sort of engagement over time. So this really helps when somebody's done a really long video. If you want to create the short form content, you tend to get that sort of initial peak at the beginning. So it'll be 100% of people watching, and then that'll drop off quite quickly, quite rapidly. There's this buzzword, this sort of 6 minutes time that people always say that's the best engagement, and after that, you generally do, you see the drops. It's quite useful as well, this one, for revision. So if you've chaptered a video or if there's specific points that people are revising, you'll see a peak in those areas, so people constantly going back to those points in the video. And then this one, engagement by person as well. So if a teacher's uploaded their own video, they can see the students that are watching it. So it breaks it down per person and does an engagement score for them out of 100%. So if somebody watched a little bit and then fast forwarded and then watched the last bit, they're not going to get a very good score because it does account for that fast forward. But if they watch, say, half of it today, half of it tomorrow, they get a 100% engagement score. Go back here. The other thing as well, sort of to help you create content, is the screen recorder that we've got. So if I launch this, so this can be launched in Moodle, or it can be launched from the library as well. And it brings up this screen capture tool here. And then we've got a few options. You can record your screen and webcam, just your webcam, your voice. We'll go the full hog. We won't because it's because it's plugged in, so it won't detect my webcam. Okay, that's fine. We'll just do the screen then. If you had more than one monitor, it would select. You could select monitor. You can select a specific area. We'll say record. There is also going to be the ability to do screen record and webcam live as well. It's just not in the version that I've got. So if I had the webcam up, you'd be able to move it around, change the size of it. While you're in here, you can go into anything else you want to. So we can go to another slide deck. You can draw on the screen. Just some basic tools. So if you want to point arrows, annotate, anything like that, that's all there as well. We'll say we're done. This then opens us up into an editor, where again you can trim and chop, so you can top and tail, and you can take bits out the middle as well. And there's titles and credits in there, so if you want to brand it or give it a title or whatever, you can do that as well. We'll just say we're done on that. And then there's some basic metadata that you need to put in there. A lot of it pre-populates, automatically private as well. We'll upload that. So this then signposts us to go back to Moodle. So if I've done a presentation, recorded my screen, and I've maybe got a little bit lost as to where I came from, at least I know where I've got to go back to. So we'll pop back here, and the video's here. We select it. Then it puts it straight into the text editor for us. Now, one of the great things about this tool, I don't know if other screen capture tools you've used before, quite often they make quite a big file and then it has to go off and transcode, so you've got quite a big wait for your file to come back. This is immediate. So what it's doing, it's creating the file on my machine as I'm recording it. So all that it has to do at the end is upload that file to the server. So once it's up there, it's ready to go. So it's basically as fast as your internet is. So that's the screen recording there. It's a bit slow because the internet's a bit slow, but it is there and playing available for you. And then we can save that. And then if I log back in as a student, then we'll be able to watch the video. So the video will come up here, we can watch it. And then we can add a submission. And this is where you can add media and do your student response. And again, they get really similar tools. So they could record the screen, or as I was saying before, they could do their quick webcam recording as well. I think my Wi-Fi is a bit slow, so it's getting a bit stuck, sorry. Okay. So once they've submitted that, the teachers can then go in and they can go into the grading area, and they can do feedback via video as well. And again, it's the same option. So if they wanted to bring up the students' work, so they've uploaded a file or done a video, they could draw over the top of it with the screen capture tool and do their response and their feedback in that way as well if they wanted to. We do integrate with other LMSs as well, so if there's an interest in any others, they're there as well. That's the webcam recording, because it wouldn't come up on my webcam. There's a few stats here, just for how Generation Z learns. So this whole idea of actually by doing so, the flipped classroom idea. And again, these tools are then really helpful for you to be able to do that model.
and then studying preferences again. And again, it's all about this interaction, this social side, being able to do things online and digitally. Oh yeah, and then the other thing as well is the playback speed. So again, in the interest of trying to do things quicker, I don't know how many people have tried this, but you can speed up your video quite considerably if you want your teacher to sound like a chipmunk. So that, it's actually weird because you do actually get used to it after a little while, and then it does allow you to watch a lot more in one go. Yeah, these are just a couple of examples, as I was saying earlier. Our university in London, UCL, they're the ones that do the archaeological dig, so that's quite a nice one. University in China as well, they do a lot of streaming live, so again, quite an interesting one to look at. And yeah, if you want to give it a go, I think I'm probably almost out of time, so if you want to give it a go, we've got these pages so you can go and try it out for yourself. If you want any information on that, I'm just at my stand outside the room, and I can give you the details if you wanted to try it out. And you can log into Moodle on our demo platform in English or in Spanish, and you can give it a go, try out the plugin. I think that's it.
Hello. No, if you want, I can change to English, but no.
If you need this translation, by the stairs. So if anyone needs.
Sorry, Luke.
So this session is actually going to be in Spanish. So if you would like to attend this session and you need a translation, there are actually devices just under the stairs, so you can wear a translation. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, if Emilio can help, so Emilio can do a little bit of translation, help you.
Yeah, maybe I can do it, so, but... I have that. No, this is only for notes. Hola.
So I will give you a 5-minute warning.
5 minutes. Okay, perfect. I'm ready to go. I can start. Okay. Is somebody using the translation or? No? Ok. Vale, pues estamos aquí para hacer una charla de cómo configurar Moodle Workplace. Esto es un poquito lo que hablaremos. No vamos a entrar en hacerlo en hacer una demo ni de esto, porque ya Emilio se encargó ayer con su equipo de explicarnos cómo va Workplace, sino que voy a hacer un poco la teoría de cómo nosotros hemos pensado de la mejor manera de configurarlo. ¿Vale? Soy Pau Plana, soy CEO de 3iPun, somos, nos creamos en 2004 y somos Moodle Partners desde hace 2 años. Y aparte de hacer desarrollos en Moodle y en Workplace, también hacemos desarrollos en PHP, en Java, en otras tecnologías. Vale, a modo de introducción, ¿vale? Como os he comentado, Workplace entiendo que ya sabéis lo que es. Si no, pues estamos aquí fuera y os lo podemos explicar, o arriba también tienen un stand específico. Debéis saber que necesitáis un partner de Moodle para poder instalarlo. O sea que no lo intentéis hacer solo desde vuestras casas, porque no vais a poder. Que esto es mejor hacerlo para todos los Moodles, también contar con un partner y con alguien con experiencia, pero con Moodle sí que se puede y con WordPress no. Vale, lo primero, os voy a explicar un poco los pasos a seguir, ¿vale? Para poder hacerlo. Lo primero que tenemos que saber es que, bueno, hay momentos en la vida en los que es mejor no pensar mucho, como por ejemplo si vas a saltar de un puente. Vale. Pero para configurar WordPress sí que se necesita pensar, y mucho antes de hacer el primer paso. ¿Vale? Lo mejor es pensar bien para qué lo queremos, qué entidades vamos a usar, y para ello nosotros hemos desarrollado un guión con todos los conceptos nuevos y todas las entidades nuevas que hay en Workplace, y en cada uno tenemos desarrollado todos los campos que hay para poder configurarlo. Lo primero sería configurar los tenants, las categorías de los cursos y los usuarios que van a haber en cada tenant. Aquí lo mejor es saber si realmente necesitamos un tenant o no, o más de un tenant, porque claro, es la gran funcionalidad de Workplace y todo el mundo se emociona y dice, vale, yo sí que quiero tenants, pero si realmente nos van a aportar o no. Lo primero que tenemos que saber es si los usuarios pueden estar en más de un tenant o no, porque si necesitamos que estén en más de un tenant, pues vayamos a buscar otra manera de configurarlo, porque no lo permite. Luego, las categorías de los cursos también se crean al crear un tenant. Entonces puedes tener diferentes categorías por cada tenant que vayas a hacer. Con lo cual también está bien pensar si realmente es lo que necesitamos o si podemos hacerlo de otras maneras, ¿vale? Porque con Moodle tenemos las cohortes para matricular a usuarios, tenemos otras maneras de organizarlo. Aquí, como va con programas y con la organización de la empresa y todo, pues pensar un poco las categorías de los cursos no lo vamos a pensar de la misma manera que con Moodle. O sea, si venimos de Moodle y tenemos una estructura de categorías y queremos pasar a Workplace, tenemos que pensar si es la mejor o no. Y luego los usuarios, ¿no? De dónde nos vendrán, saber si tenemos un LDAP para matricularlos y hacer un single sign-on directamente, que ya nos dará la estructura de la organización o no, y todo esto también es interesante e importante tenerlo claro. Sorry. Do you need that I speak in English? Okay, thank you. Luego tenemos la estructura de la empresa, ¿vale? Son todos los departamentos, las posiciones y las asignaciones de cada puesto de trabajo. Aquí, otra vez, se puede hacer a mano, se puede hacer subiendo a través de la API, se puede hacer de muchas maneras. Si tienen un sistema en la empresa que es un RP que ya lo tiene organizativo, lo mejor es ahí organizado. Lo mejor es intentar hacer una integración para que sea esto lo más automático posible. Luego pensaremos los cursos, los programas y las certificaciones. Esta parte es lo mismo, o sea que con Moodle se organiza de una manera, con Workplace de otra. O sea, aquí darle, como más vueltas le demos mejor para poder llegar a la finalidad que queremos. Y luego las dos partes que son más diferentes desde Moodle, que tampoco no hay una correlación, sería la parte de los informes, que aquí esto es mejor pensarlo una vez ya lo tienes todo montado y pensar qué informes vas a querer. Y luego las reglas dinámicas que te hacen workflows y te hacen, bueno, que pasen cosas de manera automática. Realmente esta es una de las funcionalidades que más nos gusta, gracias Emilio, porque te facilita mucho las cosas, sobre todo a los administradores del sistema. Y pasamos. Vale, una vez lo tenemos todo, ya pensado y escrito y todo sobre el papel, ¿vale? Tenemos que poner todos los datos estos dentro de Workplace. Lo primero es saber en qué formato nos lo puede pasar el cliente, ¿vale? La mejor manera, como os he dicho, es integración directa entre otro sistema donde ya esté actualizado, administrado y todo, y hacer la integración para que sea lo más automáticamente posible. Si no, pues un XML, un CSV, también está bien, lo cargas una vez y ya está. Pero claro, también hay clientes que te lo pasan en papel y tienes que hacer toda la carga manualmente y eso pues, bueno, no es complicado, pero es laborioso de hacer. Una vez que lo tenemos, ¿vale? Nosotros lo que hacemos es generar dummies, le llamamos, ¿vale? Porque la mejor manera de probar algo es mirar que funciona. Saber si hemos recogido bien los inputs del cliente, saber si es lo que realmente necesitamos en este proyecto o no, porque muchas veces ni el propio cliente lo sabe, porque como es algo nuevo, pues no tiene muy claro cómo hacerlo, ¿no? El papel lo aguanta todo, pero si pues generamos datos que no pase nada, que nos den la seguridad de que si nos los cargamos no pasa nada, porque los vuelves a subir y ya está, pues tenemos un generador ahí de datos dummy que directamente te genera todos los datos de las posiciones de la empresa, de los departamentos, de todas estas configuraciones. Una vez ya los tenemos, hacemos la primera comprobación, ¿vale? Primero lo validamos nosotros, que todo se ajusta al guión que teníamos prescrito, y luego hacemos una reunión con el cliente donde le enseñamos todo lo que hemos hecho y hacemos todos los casos de uso que necesita. Y puede ser que funcione, pero normalmente pues a veces pues no, se escapa algo y entonces lo que te toca es aquí volverlo a ajustar todo un poco, ya no es volver a configurarlo y de esto, pero se ajusta y una vez ya está todo ajustado, pues igual podemos ya salir a producción, ¿no? Pero lo mejor es volver a comprobarlo porque es mejor ir despacio, ¿vale? Es un cambio que puede suponer también un cambio de trabajar, de la manera de trabajar del cliente. Es mejor acompañarlo en todo este proceso y es mejor que lo vuelva a probar y tantas veces como haga falta hasta que se encuentre cómodo y que vea que todo está perfecto. Y aparte, si volvemos a probarlo a la segunda, seguro que haremos gol, y si no, pues a la tercera, pero a la segunda normalmente ya se hace. Y ya está, ya estamos preparados para salir a producción. Los siguientes pasos son borrar los dummies para no dejarlos ahí in eternum en la plataforma, conectarlo a la fuente de datos o subirlos, como os he dicho antes, ¿vale? Lo mejor sería conectarlo y que la magia de Workplace haga el resto. Y ya está, no os cortéis, ya estoy aquí para que me hagáis preguntas y os puedo responder.
Tengo un par de preguntas. No he visto Workplace, no estuve en la presentación ayer, pero ¿tiene alguna conexión o se parece a aquello como Alice que era de Remote Learner? que implementaba todas esas funcionalidades de multi-tenancy. ¿Estás familiarizado con lo que te digo? Porque yo usé Alice hace 5 años, qué sé yo. Y era open source o estaba el código por ahí como hasta la versión 3.1 de Moodle. Esa es una. La otra que tengo es con relación al precio, cómo funciona, si es por usuario, etcétera.
Bueno, en cuanto a la primera, Workplace es un desarrollo propio de Moodle HQ, en la que algunos partners hemos tenido la suerte también de participar. Y las funcionalidades son las que he ido recogiendo entre un grupo de partners que han ido con un listado de funcionalidades muy larga, hemos ido votando y hemos ido decidiendo entre todos cuál sería la más interesante de poner en la primera versión, en la segunda, en la tercera y así en las sucesivas. Aparte de esto, lo bueno que tiene es que todos los desarrollos que hagamos en Workplace para nuestros clientes, todos los partners, los vamos a acceder a Moodle para que decidan si va a entrar en el core o si es una funcionalidad que es muy específica y se descarta. Pero el código es totalmente de Moodle HQ. Y en cuanto al precio, hay diferentes maneras de cómo vender el proyecto. Moodle ofrece directamente para hacer un software as a service y va por número de usuarios. ¿Vale? Los precios y todo esto estamos a punto de poder ya mostrarlos a todos los clientes que estén interesados. O también se puede realizar como un proyecto normal de Moodle, donde hay la instalación, la configuración y todo, y luego se cede en un servidor que puede ser de partner, puede ser de Moodle Cloud, o en casos específicos puede ser también del cliente final. Y el precio va a depender de la manera como necesites de que sea amplio este hardware, ¿vale? Porque sobre todo es la parte del servidor y el mantenimiento del WordPress lo que te va a dar el precio. Pero en esta segunda parte no dependería tanto del número de usuarios. ¿Alguna pregunta más?
Cuando partes de un Moodle que ya tiene una base de usuarios y una base de cursos, ¿cómo se adaptaría a moverlo al Workplace?
Vale, bueno, lo primero es que se puede actualizar de Moodle a Workplace, pero a partir de la versión 3.7. Si estás por detrás tienes que ir subiendo hasta la 3.7 y luego hacer la de esto. Y Moodle Workplace es un Moodle. Entonces, en principio todo funcionaría igual. Pero como he dicho, las funcionalidades que te da son diferentes. Entonces, toda la categorización de cursos igual lo tienes que repensar. Porque igual no te encaja realmente con lo que necesites en ese momento. En cuanto a los usuarios pasarían igual, simplemente que, claro, en Moodle no tienes departamentos y posiciones y los tienes que asignar a través de los Jobs Assignments en Workplace. O sea, esta correlación te la tienes que hacer subiendo un CSV o una integración o lo que sea. ¿Alguna pregunta más? Voy bien de tiempo, no sé cuánto he tardado. ¿Sí? Bueno, es que la idea era hacerlo corto porque tampoco no de esto, pero... Ok, pues...
No, en cuanto al generador de informes, ¿qué flexibilidad tiene? O sea, si lo comparamos con algunas de las herramientas que podemos ver aquí, por poner IntelliWare como ejemplo, pues eso, qué flexibilidad tiene, qué capacidades tiene y si te permite incorporar sentencias SQL, como se hacía antes con algunos plugins.
A ver, aquí el generador de informes ahora está para una serie de entidades que te permite cruzarlas de manera muy visual, con drag and drop puedes ordenar las columnas y luego los filtros y todo es realmente muy visual, o sea, no hace falta que sea un programador el que haga el informe, pero abajo tienes la pestañita para poder poner ahí las sentencias de SQL, lo complicadas que quieras, que te lo va a soportar, ¿vale? En principio, sí. En cuanto a lo de usar IntelliWare o el generador de informes, a ver, el generador de informes está integrado en Moodle, IntelliWare también, pero para el generador de informes no tienes que pagar un extra. En cambio, para IntelliWare, todas estas herramientas de BI que tengas, pues sí que necesitas pagar un extra a esta empresa. Te pueden dar más potencia, sobre todo igual de manera visual en cuanto a los informes y de esto, pero por regla general, para la mayoría de casos, con el generador de informes de WordPress ya te valdría. A ti. Sí.
perdonan por secuestrar tu presentación. Sobre el generador de informes, como ha dicho Pau, es cómo funciona, pero la diferencia fundamental es que con el generador de informes los partners pueden crear sus propios report sources. Es decir, tú puedes poner en manos de tu cliente una fuente de datos que luego ellos pueden utilizar o tú mismo puedes utilizar para generar informes. Y eso incluye no solo entidades que puedas traer de cualquier tabla de la base de datos, sean de Moodle o de tus propios plugins, sino que además puedes crear filtros, condiciones predefinidas, agregación. Hemos definido una API que funciona muy bien y que hace muy sencilla a los partners desarrollar sus propias fuentes de datos, y esas fuentes de datos con este proyecto colaborativo que tenemos con los partners revertirán en el código de Workplace. Por lo tanto, entre todos los partners iremos haciendo que el número de informes vaya creciendo, y la diferencia con IntelliWord es justo la que te ha comentado Pau. Pero solo una puntualización. No, o sea, el editor de SQL es para ver la query. Tú podrías crear tu propio report source como tú quieras y pues con una consulta específica, pero el usuario final no puede meter una consulta SQL. Tú como partner sí, pero el usuario final no.
Tendría que ir así.
Bueno, gracias. Aprovechando que tenemos a Emilio, Pau, yo aprovecho para preguntar ya que... Una pregunta sobre el tema de los reports, sobre todo los que estamos en España, tenemos el tema de la tripartita. Como si se ha pensado, sobre todo lo que siempre reclaman el tiempo que está el usuario conectado, etcétera, o a nivel de, por ejemplo, de tener los mensajes que se han escrito el profesor con el tutor, toda esta información, o todavía es una versión muy previa al reporting.
Vale, aquí te has ganado un spoiler. En 3D estamos desarrollando el plugin de la tripartita y lo vamos a ceder a la comunidad para que podamos usarlo. Sé que no va a entrar en el core de Workplace porque es algo muy específico de España, o igual sí, no sé.
Me encantaría tenerlo.
Ya, pero bueno, eso ya veremos porque es algo que nos interesa mucho a nosotros y estamos trabajando en ello, como dicen. Está trabajando ese señor de ahí. Vale, pues cualquier cosa y detalles de Workplace estamos aquí justo saliendo a la derecha, y si no arriba está Emilio, que sabe un poco más que yo. Gracias.
No, dentro del Moodle.
de momento, ¿no? Pero sí, eso es lo que generalmente